What an amazing time in history we are a part of. We live in a world of convenience. We have virtually instant accessibility at our fingertips, the information age, and it's all thanks to the improvements in technology. Some of the more modern conveniences we have come accustomed to are things like high-definition TV is widely used in homes, and we can now purchase 3D television for the latest in picture enhancement. Even the ability to download media from the internet straight to our televisions. There are smartphones where you can access your bank accounts and pay bills, and gaming systems where you can play against or team up with other players from anywhere in the world. What if, however, within a blink of an eye, this was all taken away?
Oh my God. Mr. President, we have a national emergency.
A nuclear weapon atop a ballistic missile has been launched from a freighter off the coast of the United States. The weapon is not designed to kill Americans, at least not directly and right away. Instead, it is meant to unleash EMP, an electromagnetic pulse that destroys electronic devices and power grids. As it detonates 300 miles above the United States, the single explosion unleashes electronic waves 1,000,000 times more powerful than any radio signal on Earth. In the United States, nearly all computers fail. Telecommunications end. Transportation comes to a halt. The stock market's crippled. Bank accounts disappear. Federal officials warn EMP could paralyze America, instantly returning our country to a pre-industrial age. And they say we are utterly unprepared for it. EMP. It's a terrorist dream. An American nightmare.
If an EMP bomb went off, our world would be completely devastated. An EMP bomb is like a giant shockwave, and the pulse of energy produces a powerful electromagnetic field. This field is significantly strong and can produce a violent but short-lived transient voltages of 1,000 volts onto exposed electrical conductors such as wires or a circuit board. If one is set off in the middle of the United States, it can knock out our entire electrical grid. Therefore, nobody would have power. All cars at the time will no longer run, and all airplanes up and running will fall from the sky. Computers and telecommunications equipment is highly vulnerable, and our world as we know it would no longer exist.
The possibility of an EMP being produced by a nuclear explosion has been known since the earliest days of nuclear weapons testing. Documentation states that during early tests in the 1940s, electronic equipment was shielded in anticipation of an EMP blast. In July 1962, the U.S. detonated a nuclear bomb 250 miles above the Pacific Ocean. The test was called Starfish Prime. The blast caused damage nearly 900 miles away in Hawaii, knocking out streetlights and causing other electrical damage. Also in 1962, Russians detonated an EMP over Kazakhstan, causing severe damage and electrical current surge in an underground power line, which led to a fire in a power plant located in the city of Karganda.
Than a direct nuclear attack on the United States could be far more catastrophic than a direct nuclear strike on an American city or military base. The electrical power is necessary to support critical infrastructure, including the supply and distribution of water, food, fuel, communications, transportation, financial transactions, and emergency services. Energy distribution systems are critically dependent upon commercial power to operate pumps, valves, and other electrical equipment that direct heating oil, gasoline, and natural gas to distribution centers near our homes and to power plants. A single EMP attack may well encompass and degrade up to 70% of the nation's electrical service in an instant. Consequences are likely to be devastating. EMP damages electronics-based control systems and sensors, communication systems, protective systems, computers and circuits. Data and bank records could be wiped out, along with your net worth. Computers that are not plugged in may survive, but would be rendered useless because there is nothing to plug them in or connect them to. EMP creates disruptive currents in long electricity transmission lines, resulting in damage to electrical supply and distribution systems connected to these lines. Critical infrastructures such as large turbines, generators, in high voltage transformers and electric power systems and electronic switching systems in telecommunication systems would require long periods of time to repair or replace, maybe years, because many of these components are no longer manufactured in the United States. What will you do when the food supply is exhausted? What will you do when the water supply runs out? How will you stay warm in the winter without power to run your furnace? How will you stay cool in the summer if you lived in a Sunbelt city? How will family members get the medicines they need to survive? How will you protect your family from someone who wants what you have? If you work for a utility or if you're an emergency service employee, will you leave your family or will you stay behind to protect them? A massive die-off could begin in a matter of days. Anarchy will certainly break out.
Well, the best possible solution is to prevent it from happening. But if that's not realistic, because even if we can eliminate an EMP terrorist attack, the same impact can be created by the sun as a geomagnetic storm, and that is a reality that is measured by when and not if. So we need to find ways to protect ourselves from it. Unfortunately, there is no way to cover our entire infrastructure. There are too many components, and it would be cost and time prohibitive. All that can be done is minimize the impact. The best approach is through shielding and hardening. This is done by wrapping or insulating anything electrical in copper or aluminum foil and or a metal mesh. This technique can be applied to pretty much anything that you want to protect, from electrical circuit boards and wires to insulating buildings. On a personal level, a Faraday box can be used to protect your personal electronics. It is simply a metal box used to absorb EMP. These can be purchased, but they can be made yourself somewhat easily. Basically, all you have to do is take a cardboard box and wrap the outside in aluminum foil. Then place all your sensitive electrical equipment and you're done. There are even companies that have designed personal shelters to combat EMP.